Oh, I'm not going to be able to wear this shirt, am I? Oh, no. Oh, man. This is my favorite shirt, man. So back in high school, I was a pretty quirky kid. I was kind, I was energetic, I was charismatic, and basically everybody in the school knew me. You could ask anyone, hey, do you know Barry? And they'd probably have a story to share. Now, I'm not trying to say this to sound conceited or into myself or anything. This is just kind of the way it was. That's the energy that I bring to the table. I mean, for the love of God, I was the guy who would come to school randomly wearing a full suit, right? So it would be a little difficult to miss that, right? School was a lot of fun, and it was actually pretty interesting too, because I would goof around in class and there were kids in there who would say, Barry, honestly, I don't know how you do it, because if it were anyone else, I would get annoyed, I'd get pissed off, but the way you do things, it just makes me laugh. Which always warmed my heart. That made me happy, because I never wanted to be obnoxious. I never wanted to, irritate people. Either way, there was one thing that I did that did irritate people. I never carried around a backpack. All the other students had backpacks that they'd carry around. I either had this big red binder with a handle on it, or I would carry around what I referred to as the battering ram, which was this giant duffel bag. Now, I called it the battering ram because as I'd weave through the crowds of people, it was guaranteed every day this bag would pick up momentum and sling itself into someone, and they would fly back and fall down on their ass. And they'd get pissed off at me. They would always be like, Barry, you need to get a goddamn backpack. That's just ridiculous. I never did get a backpack, and, God forbid, lightning never struck the same place twice, so everything typically was fine, except for this one day. So I had Spanish class at the end of every day, and in this Spanish class we would do what we called actful, which is basically a full immersion type Spanish learning language kind of thing. Basically, in the class, you're not allowed to speak English whatsoever, and if you do, everyone has to pretend that they can't understand you. So you have to fight for the words and try to figure out what it is you're trying to say. And sometimes you stumble pretty hard, but as far as I know, this is one of the best ways to learn another language. Surround yourself with the language. And I remember some people saying that if you listen to Spanish music all day and you watch Spanish TV shows, it really does help. So if you just immerse yourself, you learn the language faster. So I really appreciated these classes, and I would try to keep up the practice. After my class was over, I would have to catch the bus. So I would walk with a few friends of mine, and we would just chatter with each other back and forth in Spanish to try to keep it going for as long as we could. Well, I'm walking to the bus with a buddy of mine named Nick, and we're sitting there speaking in Spanish to each other when he says, all right, I gotta go to my bus, I'll see you later. And I said, adios, mi amigo. Well, I whip around to go get to my bus, and I must have been in a little bit of a hurry because my bag had picked up a decent bit of momentum in doing so. When I turn around, what I didn't realize was there was a young, mentally handicapped girl standing right behind me. And unfortunately not behind me, right in proximity of my battering ram. I must have turned really hard because I whacked her with this thing to a point where she flew back and lands on her ass. She looks up at me and she goes, hey, what gives? I look back down at her and just not even thinking, I scream over, oh, lo siento. I'm still in Spanish mode. So I said, I'm sorry in Spanish. She looks up at me and she says, you didn't understand a word I just said. Honestly, I would end this video with a punchline, but I think that's gonna probably do it.